Hello, my loves. So I'm going to explain what a desire actually is. And you've seen this little slide before from my previous video. So we're going to go into it. And I've done a little bit more adding color into this to continue to differentiate between the character and the beingness that you are. And again, the character is fictitious, doesn't exist. It's fake. It's a made up invention by you. So let's start from the beginning and from the end, because there's no beginning and no end, and there's just you, the eternal being, God, reality, perfection, awareness, consciousness, quantum field, Tao, Shiva, whatever you want to call it, of oneness, of this oneness that you are, this unity, this one, the only power, the operant power, the source of manifesting everything, you, the dreamer of this dream, which is just you and everything else is. So essentially we're here with two possibilities. Either the same oneness, the same being, the same God is being, I am, God, reality, being, just being, and that's the upper part, the first box, and that, or the lower box, this same being, this same God, this same fulfillment, reality, invisible substance of power, this formless, dimensionless, timeless, invisible source, power, awareness, consciousness, role-playing, pretending, acting, quote-unquote misidentifying, identifying whatever you want with a character, a fictitious character. And that's why the role-playing and the pretending and the acting, that's all put in a greenish color. It's a different color, right? To portray this fakeness, this non-existence, this it doesn't exist, right? The human and the character do not exist. And you're human being. It's essentially on the name, right? Human being. And again, like, the good news here is that it's just a role. It's a fictitious role. It's a pretending role. It's an acting role. It doesn't exist. It's fictitious. And it's in this being that you are fictitiously being a character, a human character. And I've clarified a little bit more. In the center of this slide, I've added the little box that says character, and I've consolidated this fictitious character to explain a little bit more what this character is made of. And this character is made of character thoughts. And again, the thoughts, sensations, and forms, they're still God. They're still forms of you. They're not separate from you. They just have this different flavor. They have this character taste, the taste of a character, which fictitiously gives them a duality, a fictitious duality. And these thoughts then get fictitious labels and judgments, which are fictitious, such as a thought or a desire is only a thought. It's just the character that labels it as a desire. I want a motorbike. It's just a thought. The fact that you label it as a desire is done by a character that perceives wanting and not having, this fictitious not having, right? Again, this character has sensation, character sensations, and the character labels sensations such as emotions, like the sensation of an emotion that gets labeled as anxiety or happiness. There's the same sensations, but it's the character that labels them. And again, a form of an image, an appearance, an image of a body. Again, it's just the body doesn't exist. It's just the form that appears and disappears. And you've consolidated all of these things into this singular one character. Again, speaking to the character sensations, which are just sensations, it would include emotions, and it would include voices, and it would include all of this, like, sensations and labeled as warmth or coldness, or labeled as anxiety or excitement, or happiness or sadness. Again, all of them just sensations. And same way with forms, right? The character will see a body appear as a form. We'll see the form of a body and we'll label it a body or an image or the image of other humans or other bodies, and it will be labeled as such. But again, all of it, if we go to the true clarity and the truth of it, they're just thoughts, they're just sensations, they're just forms. And if we look even clearer to the direct experience of what is a thought made of, what is a sensation made of, what is an image or a form made of in this reflection, they're made of awareness. They're not separate from awareness because there's no separation. They're all you. They're just taking different forms, different appearances, different sensations, different thoughts. But again, there's just forms, appearances of awareness of you. Alrighty? So having clarified what the character is, then I've added these two possibilities, right? We start all the way from the left and the beginning and the end, because you are the beginning and the end of all. You are the source, the being, the God, reality, perfection, fulfillment, wholeness. They're all the same word. They're all you. And this same perfection and wholeness and fulfillment that you are, this havingness, this abundance that you are, can either be God, being, God, reality, or can be this same perfection, this same wholeness, can role play, can pretend, can in its absolute abundance, can pretend to be a human, a limited separate self, a character. Fantastic. All good and done. It's the role, it's a character, it's a play. Do it for the plot, whatever, for the game, for whatever. It's just the natural movement. And this vertical dotted line represents this mirror, this reflection. It's a mirror because of what reality represents, right? I haven't even added 3D versus 4D here because, again, there's no separation. The reality is you, it's your reflection, but it's you, it's completely formless. And this reality, it's headlined by the eternal now. So all the way at the top, next to this vertical dotted line, we've got the eternal now. Why? Because time is not linear. It's not horizontal. It's completely vertical. It's happening now, constantly now. Try going back 1 second from now. You can't. Try going a minute from now, or 2 seconds from now. You can't. There's only now, and you cannot escape the now. It's the eternal now that you are. Again, this eternal now is still you, has the same color, this dark blue color. It's still made of awareness. It's still made of reality. It's still made of you because it's you. It's not even made, it is you. And this reflective eternal now, this reflection, this mirror, this awareness, this dimensionless and formless reality that you are, then reflects back thoughts, sensations, forms, which equals to non-duality, union, wholeness now, and the perfection, the bliss, the fulfillment and wholeness that you are in these thoughts, in these sensations, in these forms. And again, when you observe thoughts without thought, or more like without any kind of label or judgment or word to these thoughts that appear, or these sensations that appear, or these forms that appear, and you just observe them as forms, as words, as whatever it is, but without the labeling, without the judgment, without the character identification, there is just, you don't see them as separate from you. You see them as a reflection of you, as the wholeness of you, as the now of you. And there's no good or bad thoughts. They're just thoughts that appear within you, the perfection, the bliss, and the fulfillment and wholeness that you are. And now, let's go to the bottom part of this. When this same being, this same God, this same reality, this same perfection is role-playing, is pretending to be a human being, is human being, literally in the word human being, the eternal now, this now moment, this eternal, instantaneous, immediate, eternal now reflects back character thoughts with a flavor of a character, which would then be, as an example, labeled as a desire, labeled as a negative thought, labeled as a positive thought, labeled as a judgment, labeled as a worry. Then this same eternal now will reflect back characters and sensations with the flavor of a character, with the flavor of duality, with the flavor of, like, let's say, of a label, like emotions or wind, or voices or sound or tasting, but you are the tasting in itself. Like the tasting and the taster, they're not separate. You are all in your true form. And similarly, it will also reflect back separate forms. Again, this color, they're putting in yellowy color because it's fictitious. It's a fictitious separate form. It's a fictitious character sensation. It doesn't exist. It's a fictitious desire. It doesn't exist. It's a fictitious emotion wind. So as a matter of fact, there is no such thing as a desire. There's just a thought that as a human character, you've labeled it as a desire. But the desire and the thought of the desire and the fulfillment of the desire, they're never separate from you because there's only you. They're just forms of you. There's, again, no separation. Separation is an illusion. So again, the separate forms are fictitious. So this, as an example, the fulfilled desire appearing as an image or as a form is fictitious too. The body is an appearance. It's a fictitious appearance that appears within you. It's just an image. It's a form. It's almost like a fictitious form that appears and that it's then labeled as a body or my body by a fictitious character, because everything is your body. Everything are your bodies because they're just your forms of awareness, which then equals to a fictitious duality, a fictitious separation, a fictitious lack, a fictitious linear time perceived, a fictitious perception of these things, which again, they're fake, they do not exist, which brings us to the wholeness and oneness that you are, because it's even in this fictitious duality, even in this fictitious lack, even in this fictitious separation, there is the perfection, the fullness, fulfillment, the wholeness and bliss that you already are. Because again, the separation and the lack and the fictitious duality and the linear time, they don't exist. Hence, if they don't exist, everything that is left when we remove all of this fictitious duality and this fictitious separation and this fictitious lack and this fictitious linear time, which again, it's fake, it's fictitious, it doesn't exist, it's an illusion, we see clearly that the perfection, the bliss and the fulfillment and wholeness that you are, which is how we've started this video, on the opposite end, which is this oneness and wholeness that you are, is what remains. So when speaking about desires, and the desires including other humans, which again, other humans would be other characters, which again, they're these character thoughts and these personalities and these sensations and these body forms that you've consolidated into a single character. They're just forms, appearances of you. They are no different to this same box all the way at the top, which says thoughts, sensations, and forms, which is in truth the only things that are appearing. The tangible and intangible, they're just reflections of the now that you are, of the being and the God and the reality that you are. So hope this helped clarify a lot of the questions. And yes, I will be making the video around how this whole thing is a dream. Actually, I'll speak about it now that we are here. So this is your dream. This is God's dream, not from the human character that you've been role-playing as, but everything you are dreaming this. You've just become awake in your own dream, but there's not a separate dreamer outside of this dream either. And this dream is reflecting back who you're being. It's not only a dream, it's an immersive, reflective dream that it's almost, it's interactive and it's immersive, but in its immersiveness, it is reflecting back who you're being. Either being God, I am, reality, or being a human character, a human being with this fake and illusionary sense of separation, this fake linear time, this fake lack. Fake, again, because lack is not your true form. Your true form is fulfillment and wholeness and havingness. All right? And for those of you that, and other than dream, I've used a lot the metaphor of quote unquote 3D reality, because again, there's no 3D and 4D, but this reality being an immersive 3D dimensional mirror, illusionary 3D dimensional mirror, because again, there's no separation, that it's showing and reflecting instantly thoughts and sensations and forms of who you're being. of this unity and this oneness and this wholeness that you are always and constantly reflecting back the perfection and fullness and wholeness that you are, even in the experience of role-playing as a character, even in the experience of reality showcase identifying as a perceiving separation, this fake separation, and perceiving lack and perceiving not having or having, like even in that fakeness, it's still what you wanted, because you are the perfection and the wholeness and the fulfillment, and you are the bliss itself. So in this bliss itself, in this perfection that you are as being as God, you wanted to experience not having. You wanted to experience the lack, and it's still what you wanted. It's not good or bad. It was still always what you want, because there's only your will. So there's no other person's will here, or humans or other or dimension or anything to oppose you. It's always your only own singular will. And it's everything is appearing as your one singular awareness. And if we're gonna be using the metaphor of the video game, I don't love it as much, but there's good things about this metaphor for the video game, which is, yes, just like in a video game, reality is rendering itself. The images that are rendered in front of you are just like the ones that, it's the rendering that I like about the metaphor of the video game, that everything is rendered as you're bringing your awareness to it, as you're bringing your beingness to it, as you're bringing the perfection and reality that you are, that's been rendered. So there's not actually a world that is constantly being rendered. It's only rendered, the world is only rendered when you are bringing your light of awareness, the light that you are. Like all of this poetism, and you know me, like I try to stay away from the poetics of all of this. There's enough people doing this poetically. I'm trying to be a little bit more pragmatic for you to actually bring it into the clarity that it is. Because you might hear that words cannot explain what you are, and it's just going to limit what you are. Honestly, I think we have enough words. If anything, we have too many words, because it's as simple as you're everything and anything, and you're just the formless and timeless, and there's only now, and everything that you see is you, and you're not this human that you've been thinking to be. You are everything, and everything is just appearing as you're shedding light to it. Because again, out of awareness, out of existence, into awareness, into existence. It's the expression of out of sight, out of mind. No, that's incorrect. Out of awareness, out of mind, out of existence, out of sight, out of everything. If it's not in your awareness, if it's not in your consciousness, then it could not have been. It is only when it's brought into the light of your awareness. So I don't want to entertain the video game metaphor too much, but you've asked me. The things that I want to make clear about the video game metaphor is the video game and the video gamer and the screen are all the same thing. And yes, you are rendering as you're playing through this video game, if you want to call it a video game, and that's how it's rendered. But even the avatar that this video game you have been calling it, it's a character, and you've consolidated the body and the personality and the voice to this avatar, which it's not you are the awareness that is aware of all of the different bodies that are appearing, all of the different personalities that are appearing, all of the different sensations that are appearing, and it is 3D dimensional. That's why I prefer the metaphor of the reality being an immersive, reflective mirror that it's constantly showing you who you are, because you are the whole of reality, not a bit of it, not a spark of it. You're not just a spark of God, you're the whole of it. You're the whole entire reality, the whole entire awareness, and which everything is appearing within you as you, because there's only you within you. Alrighty? So hope this video helped you. I love you so much. Let me know if you have any questions. I love reading you in the comments. I love hearing your breakthroughs. Yes, but again, there's no breakthroughs here. You are the knowing, you are awareness, you are source. We are, like, there is no one here. This is just that you experiencing or wanting to experience hearing these voices that are disappearing in this now moment. And to be honest, they didn't happen because nothing is happening. It's just awareness, being aware of things in this now moment. Alrighty? Love you so much.